Hello, galactic travelers, cosmic crew. What's happening? Save the mermaids, save the mermaids. This is a live, but I'm just doing this really quickly so I can get this video out this morning. Hello, everybody all over the planet. Oh, goodness. This morning woke up and, we're a lot of us are trained to hold space. A lot of us aren't. Holding space is new for seeds like me that awoke star seeds that were awoken really quickly and in a hurry to get certain things completed, which is what a lot of us are doing. We're doing to this point and holding space. Hello, Lisa. I'm popping in, giving you guys a message on what's going on today. Um, we some a lot of you, a ton of you. I mean, if you were born in the 60s and the 70s, or the 50s, or if your Chiron is in Aquarius or Pisces, um, if you know your starseed points, and you're more of a galactic being. If you are not an RH negative, well, they're both. I take that back because it's all different energies. But what I'm trying to say is a big group of us have been holding space. And then a group of us have been hurry, 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 hurry because that space was being held for us, and now we're switching gears and holding space. Morning, guys. Holding space is the most important thing. And for some of us, and this is where little starseed judgments come in, and we have to be very careful, because remember that no matter what your gifts and no matter what our ascension process, it's your perception, it's your process. We all have these little bitty different reflectors on that disco ball that only we're tuned in to, that one little mirror and that reflector, because we're supposed to, that's the point. We're supposed to make sure that we gather that information from that reflector. And so we can't compare ourselves to other reflectors. And as humans, we do this so easily. And today, because it's judgment, we don't realize it's judgment. But when I do sessions, starseedology sessions, the number one thing that we're all dealing with right now, and whenever I do this coaching, I'm coaching myself at the same time, because but as a human right now, coming out of this 3D in the biggest way that has ever happened in humanity, we are dealing with this energetic exchange, understanding money, understanding the balance of energy in our lives everywhere. And that's including our love relationships. And so there's so much going on that's pulling our attention. We've got so much Uranian and Neptunian energy and Pluto energy going on right now. And what's happened, and this is just happening, this is why I wanted to jump on really quick and talk about it, is that the Sun and Mercury are starting to conjunct. Now, Mercury goes fast, but this month going through Virgo, I mean, it's been like it Mercury completely spread up through Virgo. It's like, okay, we're getting all the details, we're getting everything in line, we're getting it all organized. The pressure's on Earth, right? It's like that template came, and now behind the scenes, all these things are getting set up on Earth. Well, for Mercury to have the power to create thoughts into matter, because that's all that is powerful intent and energy that we're all putting towards that new manifestation, so that this energy that we're feeling right now is our focus being concreted. Now let me say that again. All the energy in the chart is Sun conjunct Mercury, and it's gonna get a tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter orb all the way leading up to when it's gonna plop into Libra. So, and that's in a trine to Pluto right now. So, what does that mean? The sun, I am that I am, the Aries in all of us, our sun soul, our soul illumination, the culmination of all of our experiences, the culmination of all of our energies, the culmination of all that we govern within our avatar is sitting on top of Mercury right now. What's Mercury? Your thought process, your database, the database that we're breaking out of, because your technology is great when you're in a box, when you're flowing out of a box and the code's floating in the air. Technology is the last thing you need because you don't need it in the wires. You need it floating around. That's where it really is. And that's the alpha male in every single one of us as a human, because the alpha male is just the animal in us, and the animal in us is instinctual, because we in a physical world, we need physical things. This is the half and half. This is the balance. And it's just understanding why in a human vessel our soul reacts the way it does. So when I woke up this morning, holy Moses, it hasn't been hard for me to stay in a blissful state to an extent. And it's been rough, it's been challenging the past couple of days, but mostly it had to do with me feeling like I needed to hurry up and do something instead of just focus on the future, because what we're doing right now is keeping all of our Mercury sun energy focused completely on the future. Where are we going? What are you doing? Where are you living? Give me bliss. That energy, we're in the ocean, and every single one of us is putting off an energy in that water right now. And everything inside of our brain is giving us a reason why there ain't no way that that can happen, because Mercury is making sure that we see. And then and Neptune's involved in this. What's Neptune? Neptune's the veil. Okay, Neptune's the 3D veil, and it's making sure that we see for reals our current situation, our current relationships, our current everything. Okay, so all at one time, on an individual level, on regional levels, and masses, because of the events that are going on everywhere. Understand that no matter how those events are culminating, what's happening is that every single one of those people is having to get to the point that probably as star seeds we've already been to in the past lifetime, maybe the past 3 or 4 years, whenever Pluto started squaring off all of our stuff, and everything, we perceived it blowing up. And then whenever after it blowed up, then we realized, holy crap, there's a whole nother world out there. But if my life wouldn't have blown up, I wouldn't have seen it. Now, don't but we have to make sure that we realize that our world, our complete world is our thoughts. So if you start spiraling out like I did this morning, and I was having to and I was having all these thoughts of my relationship, and I'm having lots of memories of what what the collective is feeling, what the collective is going through, and I'm taking it back to my quickening awakening experience. And this is what's been coming up with me, which was what I've been battling all morning. And this is also what Amanda in North Carolina, which she's okay, by the way. She's okay. She's it's still raining. We thought the cat was gone. We thought the boat was gone. We weren't having it. We found the boat. I mean, but what also happened in that situation, and what I meant by the title whenever I said the veil is gone in our love, this is worse than losing your house. Whenever and every single one of us has been stuck in a reality that wasn't based on truth in some way, and in our personal life, and I mean, when we're in situations right now where we're still giving too much, getting prepared for the storm, and I'll just take it out of that context and put it for me, because I can speak and freely share my information. I went through this in just last October. And if you go back and look at my videos in October, I mean, again, I mean, you can see that we all go through this at different times. Okay. This is what way showers are all about, so that you can go back and see, oh my gosh, I'm going through this right now. And this is exactly what Christy was doing and talking about in September and October last year, or whenever I had that video where snot's running out of my nose and I'm shaking to the core. I don't look anything like this. I don't sound like this, because I was so stuck in my emotional body, and I was so stuck in a world that I had put myself in, because my illusion was that whatever I give out is going to come back to me. And if it doesn't, it means that they just don't love me. And then that is my problem. That's my fault. Why don't they love me? So then I give more, expecting them to give love the same way that I expect to receive it. And it, October is a lot of things were changing, and at this point, it was when I was realizing that Mark and I's relationship was not what I had thought. It had gotten really bad, but I had put myself in a situation after I lost the company where I had hinged my entire rest of what was left, because so much of my identity had been stripped. My entire life was based on what I had accomplished. And when I accomplished it all, I realized I didn't know who the hell I was at all, and the life that I was struggling to build didn't mean anything after I built it. So, in that moment, I had a knife and I had a bottle of Tylenol, and I realized that in that moment, on that day, I realized that the people that I had been counting on, and in my mind had really, really, really thought would never leave me, and in some way truly cared about my, even at this point, this experience that I had was like, cared if I lived or died. Not even, "Oh, Christy, let me curl up next to you," and right? It was, they didn't even care if I lived or died. But what I realized in that moment was that that was my fucking fault. Why was I giving them all that power? Why was I even sharing all that energy? Why am I judging them for me giving them too much and not receiving, because I've already learned that lesson, I knew that. But understand that we're all going through that, whether it's in a love relationship, whether it's that you helped everyone else prepare for a flood, and then you didn't help yourself first, and then you expected, you know, people to do it for you and help you in the end and be like you. Well, we're star seeds, we're angels, we're time travelers. I mean, right? And I but we get stuck in that, when shit, when shellfish hits the fan, then it's so easy to forget that we're creating all of it. And sun's on Mercury, and it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and it's just this battle. But it's all part of these cracking open that has to be done. You know, what I realized, and it was like when I talked to Amanda today, you know, and I know I can't even imagine when you're in devastating and you're seeing all this stuff around you, you know, and everyone's in survival mode and the energy is so low, you know, that's why it's so important for the rest of us, no matter what, over the next, you know, forever. But I mean, really, if we can just arm up and realize that that's what this is. We're in this little battle. We had another battle like this. I can't remember back in the videos that I titled something like, you know, the battle for your souls. Well, we've got enough souls. Now we're just battling on where we're going to end up because we're fish in the ocean. We're the whales. You must guard our seven gates. Hold on. Great crazy not to remember this shit. We must guard our seven gates, press our head for the year, cry out to the Lord, help make our vessel strong to spread light to heaven. Yes. So real quick, because I can't stay. We have 22 on right now. Does that make sense? And this morning I woke up and it was like, and I've been out of that relationship for a long time. It's come up in the past couple of days just because I tied in to what I realized what was happening. I knew these heart activations are remember these heart activations, we announced that a couple of days ago. I mean, they were coming in this transit. That's that 9-month imprint from before. Well, if your heart is full of an illusion, then there ain't no way you can bring in the reality. Remember, we're exiting the box, and Mercury, and this is what we do in starseedology. And I'm going to release a video today about the starseedology readings, but I'm not just promoting myself. I take this information and tell everyone, run with it. It doesn't matter if you know your starseed points or not. This is just consciousness training. You know, this is basically the Alpha Draconic Anunnaki. You know, there was a message with Anja Andromeda that I saw yesterday, and that's the one that the soul that somehow we're connected. She did the Trail of Tears at the same time Amanda and I were doing. We're clearing the Marsons, and then her video pops up, and she's got fresh flowers behind her yesterday, same ones, sunflower, and her message was from the Anunnaki. And holy moly, you know, I know that the Anunnaki, you know, that word, it has, of course, just like everything, has been flipped in truth and lies. But the Anunnaki is really star seeds, right? It's just different certain races of us, and it's really the Inky and the Enlil and the Alpha Draconic, and more through the matter side. But the message came through that the Anunnaki was like, look, you know, we've all progressed. You know, from the Anunnaki, what the message and channeling was, you know, we're not your gods, we're your allies now, and we've seen the error of our ways, and now we're here to tell you the game so that we can all do this together, because the Anunnaki now realize that because Earth and humans are so blended and in our energies, that what we do on Earth affects them. So it's like this is how Earth becomes the key. This is how this is peace on Earth. So what I'm telling you right now is very important. Your And I'm sorry I'm in coaching mode. Like some days I'm in coaching mode, some days I'm in love frequency mode. It's whatever message needs to come through. So hello, hello, hello. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Um this is the 3D that we're coming out of. This is the box. This is the PS3. This is the Xbox. Why is our reality in a box? Oh, and because everything had been locked down, everything was linear. Okay, so if I'm right, and this is why we only had one story, this is why I'm finding programs of my current life in historical people like Mary Queen of Scott, where I've relived that program. We're all doing this. You're all going to become very aware of what program you've been living over and over because it's how it works, okay? But we all had one story because we had to fit all those stories, billions of stories in one box. So I could only write one ending and I could only write one story because if my story is only 3 chapters, let's just say our story is only 3 chapters. We only live to be 1 and our story is only 3 chapters. Well, if I'm allowed to uh, pick multiple choice what I want to happen after chapter 1 and I have 3. I only give you 3 choices. And then the book now is 3 chapters. Now I've got to write nine different endings and 9 different books. That's interesting. Hoot hoot in order to do one story, right? So you can see that's quantum. That's 5D. That's the flow. But your perception is there's only one because we're in the box, but that's because that is the box. It's our mind. Okay? So and realize that this box was set to rotate this way and our DNA is rotating this way. So this is how we were staying locked in that box. This is when I talk about the 33 keys. Okay? This is Christ consciousness, being conscious that you're in the box. Okay? And don't be, and so what does that also mean? That means that we're flowing out of the box now. Well, let's talk about the box because the box, this is where my 20 years in technology and and taking high level technology concepts and dumbing them down to where I can explain them and understand them. But a database is, you guys please like if you can and subscribe if you're on here. Okay, there's all different me's that show up, you never know. Hoot hoot. The 3D, okay? So this is what a database does when you're on the internet and you have an application and you're filling out a form and it says name, this one says address, this one says social security number. So you fill in the box and you say, "Okay, here's my name." This is how our brains work, okay? So we fill in the name, we fill in the application, the address, we fill in the social security number. Now, we pay this guy like legit like $130 an hour. We call him the architect, the data warehouse creator, okay? And what this data warehouse creator does is he comes and creates what we call a data warehouse. And straight up, I picture it, it's like a beehive. It's little groupings, little grouping, little grouping. So this little group says name on it. This little group says address on it. So it's very linear, right? This is how our brains work. And this is also the divine masculine brain. This is the zeta reticuli brain. This is the alpha draconic brain. This is the Mars brain. This is the brain that has been ruling all of us for hundreds of thousands of years without the 33 key, without the understanding of what it is that was going on. And all we have to do is catch it and retrain our brain. Okay, so when I put in the name, then the name goes, it queries here and it says, bring me a name, and it puts it back in the box and it comes up and it says, Christy. Okay, and the address, same thing, right? Well, that's why we label things. That's why we say we're not spiritual until we can float. We're not masters until we glow. We don't have psychic gifts until we see shit the same exact way that Christy does. You see? Because what you did is you took those experiences and you said, this is spiritual. So whenever I come here and I put in, am I spiritual? And then my brain goes and pulls that box and it's going to flip through all those things and it's going to go, I don't see a dead match. I don't see a label that says spiritual. They called it holistic. So it's not retrieving that data. So therefore your this is coming up and saying, no, cannot find. There is no data. Okay. Well, the problem is we're all, let me put this lower. This is so important, guys, right now. If you can just get this, if you can just get this. Right now, we're flowing now we're flowing with the planet, right? We were locked in. Now our multidimensional mind is back on board. So what's happening is that our program where we just had name, address, social security number, now that we're flowing out of the box, whenever our brain goes before it goes searching over here, it's name for 10,000 years, social security number for last 100 years, address 500 years, okay? You see what I'm saying? Because our multidimensional mind is triggered. We're not pulling one, even though we're not conscious. What we're doing is we're throwing all of that into this box, and this hasn't been recomputed. So it's like zoo, zoo, cannot compute, cannot compute, cannot compute. And whenever your brain, which is the animal part of you, gets confused with that, when because you're coming out of the box and your brain is looking for boxes. Your brain is looking for boxes to pull back in to tell you what's happening. And when you're not finding a box, everyone's going back into the box. We're like, screw it. Okay, we're not spiritual. We'll do it later. But see, that's just your mind because it's uncomfortable. 5D doesn't have any boxes. So when we're coming out of the box and we're spiraling up and we're like, okay, why do I think I'm not spiritual? Because because I don't do this and I don't have this and other people have, okay, wait a minute. I have my own gifts. That's just me giving my power away. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because that's what my mind is tricked to doing, and I don't understand. My mind is trying to understand what it is that's happening, and because I don't have a book that's written by a human or a word, a spell that's written by a human to define what it is, then therefore I'm not writing it in my book. And then you just X'd out that choice because we're in quantum now. We can change that every single minute. We can change it every single millisecond. We're not locked in to a program like we were for eons. And so it's important to remember that too. And I'm having to remind myself that because these decisions right now of what we're going to do next feel so big because at a soul level, they were always so big. Whenever we made a decision in our program and in our story to come into this dimension, then it was like lifelong, forever, so long stuff. So it was like we were making, okay, do we rethinking it? Do we really want to do that? 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 I really want to write. I really want to build technology. I really want to build a fashion line. I want to build a Starseed fashion line. Like all these different things, but I don't want to do that all the time, but I don't want to do other. And so then it like stalls me and I don't do anything because my mind is thinking that I'm still going to be in the box. Whenever then I have to tell myself, "Oh my god, Christy, don't even worry. The channel's changed 20 times. You Cosmic Christy's changed 20, I mean thousands of times. Like you have no idea what's going to happen. Don't even just do it." But you see how I could trick myself, and I trick myself all the time, and this is the point because this is Mercury conjunct Sun and we're just getting started. But realize more than ever that your thoughts are creating your reality. So how do you get out of the box and create that new reality? Well, number 1, we have to be honest with ourselves. We don't know what we want, and we need to figure it out really fast. Because at a starseed level, we weren't given the opportunity for a long time, really. We had free will, but at a soul level, we were all here for major, major, major purposes. That's that ignition that you feel. That's that drive that you feel. And so we're self-sacrificing because we're service to others. at a core level. So whenever you ask us what we want in a human form, which is what we're all getting used to, I don't care who you are. We're just mixtures of races in a human form and blending it together. We don't really know what we want to do. And then to the kicker is that we have to really love it and it has to make our heart sing or else it's not going to be successful. Whoa. You want me to tell you what I really wanna do and what's gonna make me happy? I can tell you what I don't want, but I really don't know what I want. And see, that's okay. That's consciousness. That's saying, "Okay, I really don't know. I need to sit with that." Because if you don't know what your dreams are, then it's impossible to get to 5D if you're in a 3D program mind state. Because while your brain's looking for boxes to attach to your reality, which is only natural, which is only human, which is starseedology, it's how the energy works in our brain, then it's kind of like a little mind trick. And so what you're doing is you're creating your cartoon background. You're creating the SpongeBob city so that then SpongeBob can click in, drop down in and then you can start animating SpongeBob. But since we're in this world where our eyes and our brain and there's multiple realities that we're just now becoming conscious of, and by the way, we can only see one at a time. And we have full faith that in divine timing that just everything's coming while our current reality is completely breaking apart and we're realizing that we're so raw that the only thing that we have left to do is to figure out what our assets are, what we've got, to pull it in and muster it together as much as possible, and to focus on what that looks like, what it is you want. You can change it every 30 minutes if you want, but every 30 minutes, make sure that you're concentrating on it so that in like for instance, okay, I'm calling in love right now. I mean, I'm still working through some things. I know I'm resonating to it. It's getting stronger and stronger. I'm starting to feel it. I think a lot of us are. And in my mind, for some reason, when I picture him, he's in a red shirt. I can tell you what he looks like in a way, kind of. It's kind of like an energy. I picture myself. I know what his energy feels like because that's what we've all been looking for, right? Is our own energy in somebody else. So, but I picture him in a red shirt. Okay, well, I'm out in so he's in a red shirt. This is one of my manifestations. So in my mind, twin, not I'm going to say twin. Let's just say my a love interest that's coming into my play, okay? Because I wrote one in. So number 1, I know there's a love interest coming in because I've set it up. I've dreamed it. I've lived it. I've connected with it. Okay? So I know it's there. So here's my love interest. Here's the book. Here's the channel. Here's, everything else that we're doing. Okay. So in my mind I have clear visions of that. So as I'm walking in trust, divinely guided to go about my day and do the things, then I'm in a crowd and I see a tall man with dark hair and a red shirt. And I'm like, "Whoa." So what does my mind want to do? My mind wants to go, love, 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 because I've associated that red color with my the love interest and the shirt with the love interest. You see, my brain just went red shirt, database, love, dark hair, tall man, database, love. Okay. So I walk up to the man. I'm like, okay, whatever. There he is. If I wouldn't have had this in my brain and if I wouldn't have locked it in, then as I'm flowing, then I wouldn't have made that connection. So, okay, I make that connection. I go talk to him. It's not the love interest. He's a publisher. So see, he's actually linked to this manifestation. So you see how the universe works? It's like ping pong, okay? When I walked over to this guy, if he would have turned around and he was a woman, let's just say a very unattractive woman, because I won't even rule all out, but I mean, let's just say it was, a 90-year-old long-haired, short-haired woman. And from my perception, she looked like a man. But then when she turned around, and if I would have been stuck in my old program, I would have went, "Oh, it wasn't him. Dang it. Now I'll get back in line at the airport to go to Hawaii." Right? Because you just beat yourself up because you set an expectation that really wasn't the real anyway. It's just the story that you had written while you were walking over to meet the person, but it really was another manifestation. Do you see? And if your brain would have shut that down, then and kept you in the box. Okay, so it's crazy. It's so crazy. My mind does it, your mind does it, and right now these veils are being right now, Neptune retrograde calls bullshit. At Neptune retrograde, when Neptune's retrograde, Neptune's the veil, it's the illusion. It's that smoke and mirrors that's all around us that makes our bubble feel like it's vibrating nicely. It's kind of what I'm picturing right now is like those teddy bears that have the heartbeat monitor, and you put them in with your baby, and so that they think that they're still in the womb, and what when you're in the other room, so they hear the mother. Well, that's Neptune. Neptune is the reality that you're still that you have this. You have a barrier set up of an energetic sound that allows that gives us this feeling of being in the womb, and it's w- we're being supported from a universe perspective, but it's not that we it's just it's an illusion. it's so it it's all an illusion. And right now we're moving out of all this. We're breaking out of the wheel. We're coming into Libra season, and we're masters. A lot of us are masters. I mean, I'm so proud and so grateful. When I talk about this channel, the mega star seeds that are on this channel, and all the master souls that are here, and that's by divine planning. So let's just absorb this. Please share if you've got, I mean, and everyone's going through this, okay? We're human beings on the planet. We're all connected. We're all one. We're just all going through it at different times and different parts, because we're just we're laid on top of each other like a beehive, man. And I know that sounds nuts, but we are laid on top of each other like a beehive in all these different timelines, and we've got energy coming up. Just think of it like that. We're holding the future open with our mind. We're holding that. It's locked in. It's already been created. You don't have to worry about it getting there. It's just, what is your journey to get there? Because if you leave it up to the universe, you're going to have stuff like your house blowing up and your house underwater, and that's okay, because maybe that's what's not maybe, it is what's supposed to happen. But some of these lessons we don't have to learn the hard way anymore, because the energy is set to easy. And it's all that's why Mercury hurried up and went to Virgo. It's setting it to easy. It's like, look, you don't even have to go through the emotional heartache. You don't even have to remember why it is at a soul level that you have so much pain, because in your database you can't flip back to, you know, 100,000 BC and see you in a galactic war, or 100,000 BC whenever you were a you were half dragon or half alligator or half reptile. But now you just have to understand and make that perception shift that you're in control of everything. Be aware of what it is that's really going on, so you can call it in and steer your energy field. And right now, in the next 3 days, we are our thoughts, period. End of story. And if you're broke down and if you're crying and if you're looking at me right now and you're saying, it's easy for her to say, then please go look at my videos, the old ones, because the whole point of me showing up and sharing my whole entire life all the time, as much as physically possible, is to let you guys know that every single one of us are going through this. And we're all here together. And it's all written. And it's all perfect. And it's all divine. And it's all for highest good. So then why the hell are we getting upset that the world that we hate and despise is blowing up? Think about it. Why are we getting upset? We yes, the people that are there and the humans that are, I mean, yes, but we can't, we can't change, well, we can change the weather as much as possible, and we did. That's how it came from a category 5 to a category 1 by it hit land. I mean, I don't know how many of us, how many of y'all were in the consciousness of the storm? A bunch of us. So whoever was devastated and whatever happened, you know, a lot of the people that Amanda helped get out of town, guess what? Now they're screwed. They got out of town, but they're gonna get hurt worse than her. That was a lesson they had to learn. So, like, don't let them trick you. Don't whatever you are, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're resonating to is your experience, and we're keeping it high. We're keeping it high, and we're gonna do it together. So keep sharing love. I'm gonna next 2 days I'll have a Starseedology video coming out, and I'm gonna start doing the mermaid from Moo just separate. So those are just uplifting because that's the stuff we need to focus on right now. And I love you all. Have a great weekend. Hoot hoot. I call in the highest timeline of all dimensions, of all space and time, in this now. I call on Creator, the archangels, all the angels. All the starseed DNA, all the starseed templates. I open, activate cells. I activate and recall all of the energy that was not utilized from my field. I call in all soul fragments and soul shards to intertwine within my vessel and intertwine within my soul self in this now, to bring in this now, to wrangle in all those thoughts and emotions, and to focus purely on the future of humanity and of our divinity and of the gracious and grateful and so grateful. Grateful. We are all so grateful for the opportunity to bring this shift in, for we know that it could not have been, and maybe we wouldn't even be here. So we hold the focus and we hold the love and we hold the gratitude, and we are so thankful. And we look to love and light because that is the way. We pull all the energy from our mind and our heart and we blend it into two circles intertwining now. We keep that balance connected through all of our starseed origin points, through all energies. I activate Regulus, I activate Aldebaran, I activate Antares, I activate Formalhaut. There is an Antares Aldebaran opening today. I activate that portal. I activate the highest resonance of 9D and above dimensions to intertwine within our vessels and form plasma fields of future so that we can start heading to it faster and quicker. And with Mercury at the speed and turned up, that's what we're doing. We're alchemizing it quickly through our minds right now, and we're almost complete. We are complete. It is done. Don't forget, that's the human aspect. See, I got me right there. And so it is. Bye. I got to go to hockey. Hoot hoot.